So primary is when it starts from nothing, bare rock. Secondary is after some major catastrophe, and we still have soil, we still have some living organisms in the soil, so we're not starting over completely. All right. So today we're going to look at a little bit of how humans impact this. As our population grows, what happens to the resources available? They decrease, okay? Because there's more demand. You put more organisms in an area, there's more demand for resources. Resources go down. Are we going to hit a point to where there's too many humans on this planet?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to reach carrying capacity. Something's going to have to happen, all right? Is it going to be in your lifetime? Probably not, okay? What we do to the planet affects everybody, okay? So we look over here. What happened? Anybody know what this is a picture of? Look in the background. Look in the background. It's Chernobyl, okay? What happened in Chernobyl? Nuclear disaster. That whole area is now unlivable for humans. Are there organisms that live there? Yeah. Are they messed up? Yeah, they are. But that's a highly radioactive area. We did that. Okay? We changed the landscape there. We've changed the organisms there. We can't live there. You can go live there. Your lifespan's going to decrease significantly, all right, because of the amount of radiation you're going to take in. But that's something we've done. Okay? Building these big cities. Does it change the environment? Yeah, it doesn't just change the organisms. What else does it change? Does it change the weather and climate there? Yeah. This place right here is a lot hotter than if you go to the country where there's not a lot of buildings, concrete and everything. Because concrete absorbs heat. Okay? Makes that a lot hotter. Does it change the climate? Yes. All right? That changes organisms. Things that we do, we're the biggest problem with our planet. Okay? So these resources we're talking about, we got two types. You've heard these words before, I assume. Non-renewable and renewable. Non-renewable means what? In your own words. Once we use them, they're gone. We cannot get them back. Okay? Over time, the planet can develop more, but you're talking millions of years. Are we going to survive waiting that long? No. Okay? Renewable resources. There's a push. Been a push for probably the last 10 or 15 years to use renewable resources instead of things like coal, oil, and natural gas. We get electricity a lot. Used to, all power plants were coal or a version lignite driven. That's where we got our power from. Now what do we use? We can use solar, we use wind, we use water, we use nuclear. All right? Things that are renewable. Nuclear is not as renewable, not so much, but the other three, we see tons of these now. They're everywhere. If you go to central Texas and up north, they're everywhere. Because that's free electricity. All right? There's a motor inside this thing up at the very top. Not to get into how it all works, but there's a motor. Blade turns, it pushes metal against metal, and what's that make? It makes sparks. Then that's turned into electricity. It's free electricity because the wind is free. We don't pay for that. It's always there. All right? When you get up above the ground, the higher you go, the more wind there is. So how tall are these things? You ever seen one? You ever seen one of the blades when they take it down the highway? It's like an 18-wheeler plus for one blade. All right? They're way up there. A lot of electricity. The government, if you put one of these on your property, you get electricity from it for free, but that government, whatever electric companies in that area, they have to buy all the extra electricity you produce from you because it's a renewable resource. Instead of them having to go burn coal to make it, they have to buy that from you because that was a freebie. Okay, a lot of people are starting to put these in because it's money for them, it's free electricity, and it helps the environment. Right? Now it costs money to make money. Each of these windmills costs about $250,000 to $500,000. It's a lot to them, right? But the money they're going to make off of it is probably 4 to 5, 6 times that. Okay. Our atmosphere. Like I said, everything's affected by climate. We control that in some sense. All right. That first word, pollution, we put a lot of this into the atmosphere. Okay. Undesirable factor added to the air, water, or soil. It's not just air pollution. Things we pour on the ground, things we put in the oceans, it's all pollution. Okay. That leads to the greenhouse effect. I'm sure you've heard that before. What is a greenhouse? Yeah, you grow plants in it because it gets extremely hot in there. It gets extremely hot because when the sun's rays come into that house, the material it's built out of does not allow the heat to escape. So once it comes in, it's stuck. Well, we have this thing around our planet called the ozone layer. All right. It's just like that greenhouse. When the sun's rays come in, they can't escape. The thicker that layer gets, by us putting pollution in there, the hotter. Think about going to sleep at night. If you just put a sheet over you, are you going to be warm? But if you throw a blanket over you on top of the sheet, does it get warmer? If you throw a second blanket on top, what happens? It gets hotter and hotter. Well, that's what we're doing by putting pollutants into the atmosphere. We're adding an extra blanket onto the planet. Makes it hotter. The more we put, makes it hotter. Hotter and hotter and hotter. Okay? The planet is a living thing. It will take care of itself. It has to maintain that H word. What's that H word? Homeostasis. The planet does it all together. You ever seen the movie Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to watch that. All right. Talks about it's a movie about a second ice age. The planet gets so hot that what does it have to do? It has to cool itself down. What's the only way the planet can cool itself down?
No.
Cover itself with ice.
Wait, what's it?
Day After Tomorrow.
How does it just decide to cover itself?
It's a living thing. Things happen. Storms happen. Why have we had so many hurricanes in the last 10 years? Because we are heating up the planet. Heat makes that happen. You won't have a hurricane in the middle of the winter. Why? Because the air temperature is colder. Once it gets too hot, that's when all that stuff starts to happen. Okay? All right, waste products. Biodegradable, non-biodegradable. I'm sure you've heard these words before. I'm going to be real simple. Biodegradable means it will break down and go away. So when you're done eating, you've got scraps of food on your plate and you pour it in the trash. When they put that in the landfill, it will go away. It will break down, go back into the earth. Non-biodegradable means it doesn't break down. All these plastic water bottles, glass, metals, they don't break down. They do have stuff now. On the landfills, when they get to the point where it's almost full and they're going to cover it over, they have bacteria they've developed that they'll spray that entire landfill with that bacteria, and it eats this stuff. It breaks down the glass, it breaks down the plastic, but does it do it completely? No. It's still going to have. You're still going to have some of that stuff in there. You take a plastic water bottle like that one sitting right there on the desk. You go bury it. You come back 10 years, it'll still be there. It does not break down. Okay? It will still be there. Habitat loss. Who causes this? Mostly us. Can be caused by some natural disasters, things like that, but a lot of times it's because of us. All right? They cut down all these trees right here to build a house. You've taken habitat. You cut down all of these trees here to build this road. You've taken habitat. All right? When that happens, we have a loss of biodiversity. What is biodiversity again? How many are different, all the different variety of organisms. If we cut this down, and this is the only place that a certain species of organism lives, what'd you just do to it? Yeah, it's extinct now. We don't have it anymore. If that organism was key to another organism, you've just hurt that species. All right, so all these things play a part. All right. Invasive species. These are cool but bad. We've talked about this one. This one was in your symbiosis work that we did the other day. All right. Kudzu vines. An invasive species is something that is entered into an ecosystem. It shouldn't be there, and so it takes over because it doesn't have a natural predator. It doesn't have anything that will kill it. Kudzu vines are from Japan. They don't belong in the United States. They're not here. There's no natural thing that will kill them. So somehow, some way, they got brought over here. Could have been on the ship. Could have been somebody visited, brought a plant over here. Something happened. Now they're here. Okay? They will kill everything underneath them. You know this. This is all vine. It's not trees. It's not bushes. It's vine. And it grows and makes a blanket over all of that vegetation. And what's that vegetation not get anymore?
Sunlight.
No sunlight. It gets hardly any nutrients because look at all the vines. They're going to suck up all the nutrients.
What like other things like a dapple tree if they're like that?
It has no natural predator. The second one pictured there is the Burmese python. They're not supposed to be in the United States. They are taking over Florida. They are huge. They eat anything. All right? They are taking over the Everglades. They actually have now where they have a certain time of the year where everybody gets to go hunt and kill them. And they pay for them. It's like $50 a foot. You kill a 10-foot long python and bring it in, they're going to give you $500 for that. Because they're taking over. There is no natural predator. They don't have to be scared of anything. All right? They will eat everything. There are certain species of animals now that are on the brink of not being in Florida anymore because these guys are eating them. They'll take down a deer. They'll take down a pig. And you're talking about that. They caught one that was on, can't remember. They have a TV show. They have a TV show now about it on Animal Planet where they show them going and hunting them. And the guy, there's a group, they went and caught one. It was 18 feet long. Yeah. 18 foot long. The snake was about that big around. Can it kill something? Yeah. The head on it was like this big, and it's a snake. It's not supposed to be here. Somehow, and how these got here, they brought some stuff in from another country. There was one that got into a crate they brought here. They got out, all right. Or people raise them as pets, and then once they get too big, they're like, "Oh my God, this thing's huge." What do they do with it? They let it go.
And then you get your money.
And they take over. All right.
Yeah.
They had that showed that one. I watched one show where they had the record at 17-footer. It took like 9 guys to pick it up. That's how big it was.
How much did it weigh?
I don't remember, but 17 foot. They got almost $2,000 for killing that snake. That's what those people do. They go out and they kill them because they are taking over Florida. There's nothing.
Same thing with the walnuts.
The only thing that's partly, yeah.
Walnuts?
All right.
Walnuts.
All right, last slide. So with all this happening, we as a species are the only ones the only species that can change this. Okay, we can turn it around. So we can control pollution. We're trying to use different ways of making electricity, different things, not using the resources that go away. Sustainable technology and practices, meaning things that we can use over and over and over again that don't affect the environment or don't use up resources. Okay, a lot of these here, the protection, you're seeing this a lot more now. A lot more state parks, a lot more national parks, which means you can't do anything in that area. You can't touch that area. Okay, that's to help to keep the biodiversity, keep the organisms going. All right, all of that's governed by laws and regulations. Been a big push, like I said, the last 10, 15 years to try to turn this stuff around. Makes sense?